Hey friends, great to be with you today on this Leaders.Church interview video. We've got my good friend Stephen Maddox from the great state originally of, were you a South Dakota boy originally?
Chicago.
Born and raised in Chicago?
I was born in Minnesota, lived there for a year, South Dakota for 3 years, North Dakota for 3 years, and by 8 was in Chicago for the rest of my.
There you go. Yeah. Hence, Southsider. A Southsider.
Yeah. Well, we started in the north, but then when I was in university, my parents moved to the south side, so then ultimately south side.
There you go. Well, now, Stephen, I came to know Stephen when he was on staff at Leaders.Church in Springfield, Missouri, and he has since gone across the pond to Hillsong, London. So tell us about that journey. How long ago was that? How long ago was that you did that?
Well, so we finally moved here a year ago, but we had interviewed in December of 2016. Then the visa process took 5 months, and so we've been here now a year. We ended up interviewing kind of all over the U.S., and then the opportunity with Hillsong UK came up, and ended up moving over here.
Wow! That's amazing. At the time I'm doing this interview with Stephen, he's preparing for the, what's it called, Hillsong Europe conference?
So Hillsong Conference Europe.
Okay, yep. Cool. Your role there, can you kind of flesh out a little bit what you do?
Yeah, so I am the head of production for all of Hillsong UK, which means I oversee 7 running locations. We're also starting 8 locations, and then we're also affiliated with a few more locations that are also in Europe. So like I was just in Milan yesterday visiting with that location. So yeah, just kind of a bunch of different things, and then oversee all production.
Now wait a minute. Am I supposed to feel sorry for you? Oh, yesterday I was in Milan.
Well, it's funny because actually I was telling my wife, I texted her and I said, I just had the most amazing Chinese food in Italy.
In Italy.
I mean, literally, it was the best Chinese lunch I've ever had ever. Anyway, and I've had Chinese in a lot of places except China. Yeah. And it was amazing. And I was like, and I'm in Italy.
Yeah, go figure that. Yeah, how does this work? Oh, that's good. Well, hey, let's get right to it here. I want to talk with you, Stephen. I really do appreciate you slicing some time off to talk to our viewers here with the Leaders.Church folks.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of pastors out there who are in churches of 100, 300, 500, 700. They're certainly not Hillsong.
Yeah.
They're not the scope, the size, anything like that. Yeah. But you've been around the block a day or two, and you have an understanding of these smaller settings. And I'd like to have you just talk with us a little bit about, where does a pastor start with this? You know, he doesn't have a bunch of people on payroll. He doesn't have a pile of money. What's the very first thing a pastor needs to do to really make sure that the sound at their church is all that it needs to be?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I talk even to the team here is just finding that one person that can kind of hold it responsible and look to lead it and grow it. Because, I mean, the locations we're starting here, they're all in the 200 to 400 person range. And I mean, I've led worship and all that kind of stuff in those sizes. And the biggest thing is usually what happens is most people think, well, the right person isn't coming and we're waiting for that right person to come. But the thing that I talk to the team about is, no, the person's already there. You just need to find a leader that will own that area. And they don't technically need to be a technical person, because what you need is someone that's going to grow and develop people.
Okay.
And they're going to be willing to look and find and recruit people. Because what tends to happen in a lot of locations is it's like, well, it's a technical area, so it needs a technical leader. And but that's not the case, in that you want a person that's going to lead people and find technical people. And even if they're not, they're going to then train them up to be able to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what the church world does, is that we take anybody, no matter where they're at on their journey, and we're able to then just grow with them, go on the journey with them, and empower them to do what they need to do it well. So then we just give them access to what they need. So usually when I'm talking to churches, my question is, okay, so who's going to be the one that's going to own it and carry the weight of responsibility? And then from there, you have to have a relationship with that person. Because if you don't, you want to pick someone you like working with.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, that's a very stressful area. And you want to be able to have someone that you can go, oh no, like I'm even fine to just hang out with them. Because then it's just an easy working relationship. Because then the next conversation point is then, okay, then who are their leaders? Right. So then they need it, because they can't carry the weight of responsibility of trying to run audio and video and whatever production elements you have. They too then need to say, okay, so who are they going to bring on the journey with, and go, okay, so then they need to find someone that they'll run the audio team, they'll run the video team, because then from there
hang on a second. So really, what you're saying here is that while they don't want to be ignorant, a pastor doesn't want to be ignorant of the person's technical skills. They really are looking more for a leader.
Exactly.
So as opposed to you want a leader who's got technical skills. That's really the ideal but you really...
Oh, and those people exist.
Yeah. Even in small settings, a pastor can find them. You've got to be selective, but you can find them.
Yeah. But even if you can just find a leader that's saying, hey, I'm willing to just learn it. So I'll then find where, I'll read the books, I'll watch the stuff online, I'll talk to people, I'll find people that do know.
Right.
Just 2 nights ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, and I said to him, I am actually not hung up on having to know everything. I just want to know everyone. In that, if I don't know it, I know who to call and go, oh, I don't know, that's what this person does, so let's call them, and they'll be able to tell us.
Yeah.
And so it's just finding that person that can lead and grow a team. And yeah, hey, if they're technical, that's even better. At the same time, if you don't start with anyone, you'll never grow it.
Yeah.
And so, find a leader, help that leader develop out who then is within their leader's team. And then the next part is then I always tell all of those people, they then need to find someone that they can replace themselves with. Because you don't want one of those people to then be like, well, I'm doing it every week because there's no one to do it. And usually if you find leaders to lead teams, then what happens is they are going to invest in people to get them there. You'll usually find if someone says to you, well, I'm the only one that can do this, they're not an actual leader.
Right.
They're a person that's going to be great on the team doing the role. They just can't be the leader of the role. So a lot of the time here, I even talk to people of like, because what can happen is, well, this person is our best front of house audio engineer. And so they need to be the one to lead the team because they can mix it the best. And what's funny is really they're the worst person to lead the team in that they're not actually wanting to lead the team. They want to be your best front of house engineer. Yeah. So don't make them the leader. Let them be your best front of house engineer in training everybody else, but have a leader that can actually lead the team. So even here, a lot of the times I would find the technical person's in charge. And so I would always say, I'm like, I realize it's a technical role or department, but what we need is we actually need someone that can lead and manage the team, and then they'll have like a technical leader with them that can help with the technical things. But it's just making sure that you have proper growth and development within that area and that team.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Okay, you got a bunch of pastors that are watching this right now, and they're resonating with what you've just said. They're going, okay, I'm going to go talk to this person, but I got no money. I don't have the money Hillsong has. I got no money, nothing. What am I going to do with this dinky sound system that's terrible?
Well, to break the misconception, whenever we start a location, we tell locations that they start with whatever they have. So it's like they have to grow as if they're essentially a church plant. Their support structure from us is just helping them and encouraging them, and then just helping them grow from nothing to something.
Right.
It is one of those things where, one of the things I commonly tell people, because I'll go into a place and they'll be like, oh, well, our equipment's not probably what you're used to. And I always tell people, just work the best with what you have.
Right.
Because, the funny thing is if you ever saw a Coldplay or someone do a concert on the same equipment you had, it would actually sound beautiful and amazing because they work and work at their craft.
Yeah.
Because you can essentially, sure, things can help make things better and enhance and build on. At the same time, it's usually what's in the person and what they have that actually makes it what it is. So I would usually, if someone said that to me, I would say, don't stress. B, what I would do is probably then what I do when I walk into a place is work up a list of priorities of, okay, so A, what do we have? So kind of chart out, okay, I have these things. Okay, then what am I trying to accomplish that I can't accomplish? Right. And so then I work up that second list of, okay, so what am I trying to do? And then if you're saying, hey, I do all of these things well, okay, what am I not able to do? And so those are going to then work into the priority list of, well, A, if anything's broken or not working correctly, yeah, that's probably going to go at the top of the list of, I need to fix this, I need to repair it.
Right.
B, a common thing would then be, okay, so then what am I not able to do that I need to do? Because some people will think, oh, well, I need a soundboard, but my comment back would be, do you really? And so that, and then, once you've done your work of, okay, this is what we have, this is what we need, you then just set your goals of, okay, well, let's try to do what we can.
Yeah, right.
Next thing that I always did whenever I was in this situation is then I would talk to the people that would know. And if you know me, I'm always willing to talk to anybody about anything. And again, if I don't know, I'll at least point you to someone that does.
Right.
But yeah, just get an outside opinion of going, hey, look at what we have. Do we need to do something different? Do we need to look at something different? What is it we're trying to accomplish? Another thing would be, and we get this request all the time, which we're always happy to get, is hey, do you guys have anything you're not using that we could use? Literally just find the churches that you have a relationship and just go, hey, the cross sharing that everybody does it just needs to happen. That's what church is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is need to help one another out. And so for example, if there is something that we're like, hey, we're no longer going to use this, we're going to get rid of it, our first thing is going to be a shoot out to anybody and everybody we know. Hey, we're looking to actually move on from these things. Does anybody need these things? One thing that is very common and should be done is the whole hand-me-down structure. Whenever we update something in one area, then that might get passed down to the youth. After the youth, it goes to the kids. However it needs to kind of work out is just keeping a constant sharing through. And then outside of that, just set goals and just have realistic expectations of what you can and can't do, just do the best you can with what you have.
Absolutely.
I went to a venue one time, and the guy walked up to me. He was like, it's not going to sound like what you're used to. And I was like, I'm okay. I can see the difference. You just, everybody do your best. You'll be fine.
Let's go. Let's do it. Okay. Give these guys and gals a parting shot. Stephen, if there's anything that you'd like to say to them, what would it be?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing next is, because obviously throwing out that question of saying using non-technical people in a technical role, after I have that conversation with people, the common question would then be, okay, but then how are they going to learn what they need to do? And that's where I said, flippantly, read the books you can find the videos online, talk to the people you don't know. And obviously we do the Church Audio University, and that's where the beauty of how we designed that was it does the twofold. It has the track where if you pick a leader and you say, hey, we want you to work in the production area, and they go, well, I don't know what I'm doing, the leader can watch the director role and go, and it teaches them how to work with their team, how to work with the lead pastor, how to work with those in the other teams. But then if you find the volunteers that you're going, hey, you're very musical, and they're like, but I just don't know how to use it. The volunteer track teaches them how to use the boards, how to use the different things within the boards.
Yeah, that's good.
And outside of that, it's just practicing.
Yeah, it really is.
So, and again, if there's ever a place where you need something more tailored to who you are, again, feel free to reach out. We can help you with that as well on helping you all look at these things, do these things. But yeah, the main thing is just giving people the opportunity and going on the journey with them. I think a common misconception in the church world is, well, they just don't seem to be learning it fast enough, or they must not be good because it's been months later and they're still not there. Right. But the thing is like all things we do, it's all about what you put into it is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
And so to hold a volunteer to the level of a professional who's doing it day in, day out, and the volunteer does it maybe once or twice a month, if that, and that depends on if they're going to trainings or not. To expect them to get it that quickly is just not, it's not a fair test, a fair litmus test. Because, we had a volunteer here when I came here last year. And I was like, well, he's fine, but that volunteer literally signed up for everything. Every training, he signed up for he would ask people all the time, help me with this. He would come to every rehearsal, whether he was mixing or not. He was signing up for just helping at every service. And it was just a couple months ago, I ran into him again at one of our events, and he was mixing it, and I was like, man, a year later, you got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just all about what you put into it, and
that's
so that would be
that's cool.
My
if someone wanted to get a hold of you, I didn't ask you this. Is there a way for people to get a hold of you by email, or what would be the best way to do that? Through us or what?
Yeah, through you would be, if they want to just connect you, you can pass along my information.
Okay. So if anybody watching this wants to get a hold of Stephen, just drop me an email. You've got it right here in the email you're getting here from dhardy at Leaders.Church, and we'll be glad. Or it may show support at Leaders.Church. Either one will get to me. I want to mention a couple things. I've got it over here on my other screen. We have some freebie documents that I mentioned here in this email. How to best serve. Let's see what I do with that. How best to best serve your pastor. That we put that together here just a few months ago. And how 21 sound bites every lead pastor loves to hear. How to best serve your lead pastor. This is something you would want to give to your volunteers, and it just goes through a whole bunch of, 21 different points that a sound person would want for their senior pastor. We've got an Easter run sheet. Granted, it's not Easter when we're sending you this email, but we've got a number of things here. We've got a vendors page. We've got sample input list that if you'll just drop me an email, we will send these freebies to you. In addition, of course, we've got Church Audio University. I've got the link here in the email, and we'd love to have you be part of Church Audio University. It's a phenomenal resource that Stephan has created, and to the extent it can be helpful to you, both your leaders and your volunteers, you're going to see some great things happen. So, again, Stephan, thank you very much for taking time to hang out. Say hi to your family for us, and we pray God continues to lead you in all that you do. And for you as a viewer, thanks for watching this video. Let us know if there's any way we can help you. In the meantime, make it a great one and be blessed.